How long are you renting it for?
Just for a couple of days.
What are you visiting?
Yeah, I'm on tour.
What are you doing?
I'm on the world tour.
The Bodycam video Justin Timberlake fought to keep sealed from his 2024 arrest is now public, and it's brutal. Flashlight glare, failed walk the line, refused breathalyzer test, and a panicked friend name-dropping in sync in a last-ditch plea before the cuffs close. The footage undercuts his "I was fine" defense and raises one glaring question: how did a textbook DWI in sleepy Sag Harbor shrink to a mere traffic ticket behind closed doors? Stick around, because Section 2 dives into the hush-hush courtroom huddle that may have saved Timberlake's Everything I Thought It Was world tour and could still blow it apart. 36 hours after the arrest, Justin Timberlake was hustled through a side door of the Sag Harbor Village Court. No cameras, just his attorney Edward Burke Jr. and the village prosecutor. What unfolded was a 10-minute bench conference locals call the breakfast special. Plead guilty to a minor traffic infraction, pay a $400 fine, attend a single safety class, and the DWI charge under New York's Vehicle and Traffic Law Section 1192 quietly evaporates. In exchange, Timberlake would release a redacted body cam, sparing the town a First Amendment fight and sparing himself a criminal record that could derail the Forget Tomorrow World Tour. But the transcript of that huddle, now under seal, hints at something bigger. Insiders say Burke floated an economic impact report, projecting $3 million in lost tourism if Timberlake skipped his upcoming Jones Beach dates.
So the reason for the stop is because you're keep veering off to the left, and then you're not stopping at the stop signs.
Yeah, sorry about that.
The judge reportedly glanced at the numbers, then at the crowd of off-duty officers waiting for autographs before nodding the deal through. By sunrise, headlines read, "Traffic ticket, no jail," and VIP hotel suites were rebooking for concert weekend. Meanwhile, Mothers Against Drunk Driving expressed immediate disappointment at what they called celebrity leniency, threatening to monitor the case closely. Yet one person in the gallery heard every whispered word: a freelance reporter who filed a FOIL request for the sealed transcript the moment court adjourned. If that document leaks, it could expose whether star power, not justice, drove the leniency. And the Suffolk County DA, facing re-election, can't afford that optics disaster. Next up, Sepsil 3 unpacks the political scramble behind the transcript lockdown and the single legislative loophole that could pry it open. Within hours of the Freedom of Information request, the Suffolk County clerk stamped the court transcript law enforcement sensitive, blocking release for 90 days. Officially, that shield protects ongoing investigations off record. Aides admit it buys time for District Attorney Ray Tierney, neck-deep in a re-election fight, to decide whether cutting Timberlake a break was worth the political blowback. The reporter counters with New York's narrowly used public interest override, a statute that lets a judge unseal records if they reveal preferential treatment that could erode faith in the courts.
Justin Timberlake's DWI arrest, we are now finally seeing it on police body cam.
And I gotta say, it ain't feeling like the story that they told, which is one martini.
Yes, that was the story originally.
It's been invoked only twice in 20 years, both after viral body cam leaks embarrassed local police. If a motion lands, Tierney must either charge Timberlake fully to justify the secrecy or argue before cameras that celebrity leniency serves the common good, an argument likely to torch his poll numbers. Governor Kathy Hochul's office is already fielding calls from Mothers Against Drunk Driving, threatening statewide protests unless the transcript sees daylight. Meanwhile, Timberlake's tour insurer reportedly inserted a felony void clause. If the deal collapses and charges escalate, every concert date beyond New York could be canceled at a loss topping 8 figures. The override motion hits the docket next Tuesday. If the judge grants it, those 10 whispered minutes become public record and the DA's race flips overnight. But if Tierney buries the motion on procedural grounds, the reporter's only option is a leak, an act that could land her in contempt. Section 4 will reveal who moves first: the courthouse gavel or the journalist's send button. 48 hours before the override hearing, a sealed USB envelope lands at the newsroom reception desk. No return address, only the stamped words, "TUSDay is too late."
That moment, as the kids say, that was cringe.
So
that was very, very cringe.
He could not form the thought of how to explain what a world tour is.
Inside, an audio file of the bench conference, captured by a bailiff's forgotten lapel mic. The clip verifies the breakfast special details and, worse, an off-mic chuckle from Judge Marsha Greenwald joking that Hamptons needs its summer soundtrack. The reporter hesitates. Publishing could hand Timberlake's lawyers a mistrial claim and put her in contempt, yet waiting risks the DA, burying everything. Whichever timestamp hits first, live broadcast or court stamp, will lock the narrative. Cepal 5 reveals which side wins the minute-to-midnight sprint and whether Timberlake's next show opens with music or mugshots. Section 6 will reveal whether the court allows cameras inside the new trial or slaps a gag order that pushes the fight from open court to the court of public opinion. Her ruling is set for 9 a.m. sharp. When the gavel drops, we'll know whether the public gets a front-row seat or if the most scrutinized DWI in pop history vanishes behind closed doors. Section 7 will reveal the decision and its immediate fallout on Timberlake's tour, his legal fate, and the county's political battlefield. At 9 a.m., the courtroom doors swing open and Judge Marsha Greenwald delivers her ruling. The trial will be fully televised, audio included, but jurors will be sequestered the moment they're impaneled. Cheers erupt outside. Inside, Timberlake's face freezes as the judge schedules voir dire for next Monday, smack in the middle of his rescheduled Jones Beach date.
The big question we had, and the reason everybody wanted to see the body cam was there was a story that Justin had basically said, played the celebrity card.
Right.
Well, it is there on the video.
A live feed is set to stream on Court TV, and every network scrambles studio panels for gavel-to-gavel coverage. Within an hour, Ticketmaster auto-emails fans, all Long Island tickets paused pending legal developments. Promoters threaten breach of contract suits. Timberlake's insurer counters that the artist's own legal strategy triggered the shutdown, voiding coverage. Meanwhile, the Suffolk County DA, its office leaks that it may add a reckless endangerment charge, raising potential jail time and guaranteeing even juicier ratings. But the media victory could backfire. Defense lawyers file an emergency motion for a change of venue, arguing wall-to-wall coverage makes an impartial jury impossible anywhere in New York. If they win, proceedings shift to upstate Buffalo, where tour economics and political stakes vanish overnight, along with most cameras. The judge sets a 48-hour deadline for briefs, and Timberlake's private jet files a flight plan to Nashville, hinting he may skip a newly hostile Long Island to court sympathy in Music City. Whether the trial stays under the brightest lights or flies north into near obscurity will decide who controls the narrative: the pop star, the prosecutor, or the cameras. Section 8 will track the venue battle and the last-minute lobby blitz that could rewrite the stage entirely. Overnight, dueling charter jets ferry crisis teams to Albany and Buffalo. In the capital, lobbyists for Live Nation press state legislators to keep the trial on Long Island. Every relocated hearing means thousands of refunded seats and a ripple of lost hotel tax. Meanwhile, prosecutors land in upstate Erie County pitching the move as a fresh snow jury pool, hoping a quieter court will blunt star-struck defenses.
Timberlake later jokes with the arresting officer at the police station. Prosecutors eventually dropped the DWI charge, allowing Timberlake to plead guilty to a lesser charge. Earlier this month, the star sued the Village to block the release of that body cam video that you just saw. Friday, his lawyers and the Village agreed to its release.
Buffalo's Erie County Supreme Court clerk confirms courtroom availability, and local media salivate at the prospect of A-list spectacle invading a snowbelt winter. But civic groups warn of security costs ballooning past the town's entire annual budget. Upstate reps lobby Governor Hochul for indemnity funds. Downstate colleagues threaten to filibuster a newly drafted Timberlake Transparency Act that would mandate cameras in all celebrity trials statewide. As briefs flood the judge's inbox, a leaked memo from Timberlake's insurance underwriter surfaces. If venue moves 300+ miles, the felony void clause resets, meaning the tour could revive mid-trial, provided the artist avoids additional charges. That carrot tempts promoters to back the relocation, splintering Timberlake's own support network. The next sunrise will decide the courtroom zip code, the tour's survival, and whether New York's judiciary broadcasts or buries its most watched DWI. Section 9 will break the appellate ruling and reveal the backstage deal one side is prepared to strike if they lose the geography gamble. At 6 a.m., the 6-judge appellate panel appears on split screen. In a 4-2 vote, they keep the trial on Long Island, ruling that celebrity glare is a self-created circumstance, not a constitutional harm.
Justin and his lawyers tried to stop this video from coming out. But
they did for a while.
And they did for a while, but ultimately they reached an agreement with the prosecutors that they would release parts of the video with some redactions.
Court TV cuts to a live countdown, hotel stocks in the Hamptons spike, and Buffalo officials issue a frost-bitten press release, calling the decision downstate favoritism. Minutes later, Timberlake's lead counsel dials the district attorney. Off record, they float a face-saving deal, plead to misdemeanor reckless driving, pay a $1 million road safety donation, no jail, no felony void. The DA hesitates. Polls favor a courtroom showdown, but the county budget reels from protest security and juror sequestration costs. Meanwhile, Live Nation's lobbyists whisper they'll bankroll a drive sober PSA tour if charges downgrade, flooding local coffers and salvaging summer concerts. By nightfall, both sides draft term sheets. The sticking point: full release of the Bodycam video. Timberlake's camp insists on a final blur and mute. Prosecutors demand raw footage to prove transparency. The judge grants a 24-hour mediation window before jury selection begins. One last chance to strike the backstage bargain or roll the dice on open court humiliation. With egos, economics, and election math tangled in a single negotiation, Section 10 will reveal whether they ink the deal before the clock and the cameras force their hand. The mediator locks all phones in a conference suite above the Sag Harbor courthouse.
He was that wasted.
Well, and also I think he was hoping that he'd just say World Tour and the guy would go, oh yeah, you're Justin Timberlake.
Right,
and that
you're
would,
in town for your show.
We know that the officer said he didn't realize that he was Justin.
Timberlake signs off on a $1 million drive sober fund and a misdemeanor plea, but only if the body cam stays blurred after the breath test stumble. Prosecutors counter, raw video or no deal. At 11:42 p.m., a clerk bursts in with breaking news. Mothers Against Drunk Driving has just scheduled a sunrise rally on the courthouse steps, pledging to live stream the entire negotiation if secrecy wins. Fearing a PR catastrophe, Timberlake's team offers a compromise. Release the full footage after sentencing, uncensored, with his own on-camera apology. The DA takes the bait, stamps the agreement at 11:59 p.m., and jury selection vanishes from the calendar. Yet as cameras gather for the dawn rally, a hacker dumps an unblurred copy of the body cam to social media, hours ahead of the promised reveal, turning Timberlake's hard-won plea into a fresh storm of outrage. Section 11 will track how an unauthorized leak just blew up a deal both sides thought was airtight. By 2 a.m., the unblurred body cam is everywhere. TMZ first reported the leak, then TikTok stitches and looping banners followed, showing Timberlake slurring, stumbling, and asking officers to just call my team. Overnight hashtags flip from hashtag drive sober to hashtag double standard, and the inboxes of the Suffolk DA flood with 40,000 form emails demanding the plea be voided. At sunrise, Mothers Against Drunk Driving pivots its rally into a rip-up-the-deal march, and nervous county legislators vow a hearing on celebrity justice.
The police there in Long Island had their body cameras recorded Timberlake explain he was on tour at the time following friends to a house. The pop star then stumbles during a sobriety test on camera. An officer later handcuffs Timberlake for suspicion of drunk driving.
The prosecutor, fearing political suicide, files an emergency motion to withdraw yesterday's agreement, arguing Timberlake's team breached spirit of transparency by delaying the footage. Defense fires back. The leak wasn't ours. Voiding the deal would be double jeopardy. Judge Greenwald sets a noon showdown to decide whether the misdemeanor stands or the full DWI charge roars back to life. Meanwhile, Live Nation's legal chief emails promoters. If felony charges re-emerge, the Forget Tomorrow Tour insurance is dead. Venues must clear calendars by 5 p.m., fans refresh apps, wondering whether tonight's concert will open with fireworks or an empty stage. As noon approaches, all sides converge on a courthouse swarmed by cameras and protest placards, no VIP justice. One gavel strike will either freeze the tour, tank the DA's re-election, or crown Timberlake a martyr of internet vigilantes. Section 12 will deliver the verdict, the fallout, and your call to action. The courtroom crowd barely settles before Judge Greenwald rules. The leaked video voids no agreement, but delaying its release violated the plea's full transparency clause. She yanks the misdemeanor, reinstates the full DWI and reckless endangerment counts, and sets trial for October, squarely over Timberlake's European leg, gasps Ricochet. Live Nation execs text venue managers, stand B for cancellation. Timberlake's lawyer moves to appeal, yet the pop star leans into the mic, voice cracking, "If my mistake helps end VIP justice, I'll face it head on." Outside, protest signs flip to cheers. Promoters scramble refund codes. Polls swing 10 points against District Attorney Tierney, now accused of whiplash prosecution. Meanwhile, Capitol lawmakers fast-track the Timberlake Transparency Act, mandating public body cam release within 48 hours for all DWI arrests, celebrity or not. And that's where we leave it, for now. If you want real-time updates on the first star-powered trial to live stream and rewrite state law, hit the bell, stay alert, and join us as the spotlight turns from world tour to courtroom tour.